Coming up, from our 6th Masters of the FIBA 3x3 World Tour 2019 season in the heart of Lausanne, Switzerland. We sit down with Spanish basketball star Nacho Martin, who finally makes his World Tour debut 5 years after his first FIBA 3x3 tournament. I'm about to take you on an exclusive visit to the House of Basketball in the FIBA headquarters, y'all, just 50 kilometers away from the Olympic capital. And we chat with Wester Molteni, who has transformed Team Lausanne into one of the most marketable squads on the 3x3 pro circuit. Plus, you know you gotta stay tuned to the end of the magazine. We got one of the best top 5 videos of the year. It's quick, it's epic, it's Olympic. Welcome to the world of FIBA 3x3 basketball, a game played with non-stop music on a half court with 2 teams of 3 players aiming to hit 21 points before 10 minutes of game time. Previously, at the FIBA 3x3 World Tour, Riga Ghetto won their 2nd Masters of the season in Prague and jumped to #1 in the World Tour standings. Good news for everybody else making the trip to Lausanne. Neither Riga Ghetto nor Novi Sad earned a ticket to Switzerland, meaning that the winner of 4 of the 5 Masters so far this season are MIA. So who's gonna cash in the 30,000 USD check in Lausanne? Chances are it'll be a first timer, as Lehman and Piran are the only 2 teams who have won a World Tour Masters before. No less than 10 teams make their World Tour debut this season in Lausanne. Very few 3x3 players have a basketball CV like his. Nacho Martin played for FC Barcelona and made several appearances for the Spanish basketball national team. It's now with another Barcelona team, Barcelona NSNG, that he finally makes his World Tour debut, over 20 years after he started playing basketball in the streets.
I was born in Valladolid, so I started playing street ball maybe when I was like between 10 and 12 years old, more or less. Then I went to Barcelona. I played for Barcelona 8 years. In there, I found a really nice park to play street ball, Parque de la España Industrial. I started going there and play street ball with the guys, usually Dominican guys. I'm playing for like 9-10 months, 5-on-5, so I need something different, and I feel free playing 3x3. That's why I fell in love, and that's why I'm still playing.
In 2014, Martin led Spain to the quarterfinals of the first ever FIBA 3x3 Europe Cup. This is when 3x3 became more than a hobby for him.
I think it opened like a new world for basketball players. That usually we play 3x3 to have fun and to be with the friends, but from that moment with the national team, it opened my eyes, saying this is something serious, this is gonna get bigger, as it is now, right now.
With Martin, 3x3 goes beyond basketball. It's an urban culture movement. When he's not posting up dudes on a 3x3 court, he's posting new songs on his YouTube account.
I like to rap, I write my songs, and I like to do video clips and stuff, but I take it as a hobby. Music is everything. I listen to music in my car, before the practice, after the practice, before the games, when I'm home, so I need music to live.
But wait, there's more. Speaking of urban culture, Nacho Martin is what we call a sneakerhead. Now, you gotta root for him to win a big check in Lausanne, because his rent cannot be cheap to have room for his crazy shoe collection.
I think I started collecting sneakers when I was 14, 15. Then I started getting a little money, and I was going to El Corte Inglés or Foot Locker. I was playing in Barcelona, so sometimes they were giving me free sneakers too. So right now I got like close to 150 pairs, especially in a size 15. So it's hard to collect them and put them in boxes.
Now, we knew the Lausanne Masters had a bunch of stars. Well, New York, Harlem, and Princeton added some stripes on it on day 1. New York Harlem came to town with a confidence level higher than the Swiss Alps after winning 3 challengers in the last 2 months, but they knew they were going to be up to a big challenge playing against host and Team Lyon from France. The game against Lausanne was the game of the day, no doubt. Nathan Jerkovic, aka Swiss Khalifa, got the fans on their feet when he soared for the alley-oop, but Marcel Essenwune got them back on their seat with the sledgehammer. The game looked overtime bound, but then New York Harlem transformed Lausanne into Los Angeles because they got their Hollywood ending. Disco Damo snuck in the Tissot buzzer beater, and New York Harlem were only getting started repping our watch partner. Lyon took a bite in the Big Apple on their World Tour debut, and Raphael Wilson went deeper than Poetry Night to tie the game at 20. New York Harlem had a big scare, but then they turned to that man, Kadani Brutus. The top scorer of day one exploded with a game-high 9 points, including the Tissot buzzer beater to qualify for the quarterfinals. The 2 American teams weren't stuck in Eastern Time. Team Princeton delivered the 3rd and final Tissot buzzer beater of the day in a hard-nosed game against Barcelona NSNG, who made it all the way from the qualifying draw. Nacho Martin and Sergi Pino showed more range than your new car keys and had the game tied at 19 apiece. Big players step up in big moments, and the World Cup 2019 MVP Robbie Hummel did not shy away from his responsibilities. The former NBA player elevated from the top of the key and closed the door on Barcelona's upset hopes. Hummel added 8 more points in another nail-biter against Carriof. New York Harlem and Princeton finished day one undefeated and still in line to be the first U.S. team to win a World Tour Masters since 2016. 2 more teams had a perfect day on Friday. The number 1 seed Lehman got a big boost from Stefan Kojic, who was tied with Brutus on top of the scoring charge day one. And Anze Schreibot led the number 2 seed Piran to back-to-back wins as well. He had the best individual scoring performance of the weekend with 12 points in their last pool game against Utsunomiya. It was a spectacular day one in the Olympic capital for the countless fans, especially when Lausanne secured their qualification in style. The top 8 seeds make it to the next round, so it's au revoir to Ulaanbaatar MMC Energy, Utsunomiya, Lyon, and Nacho Martin's Barcelona NSNG.
All right, so you guys are probably wondering where I am right now. Well, I'm about 50 kilometers outside the Olympic capital in the city of Me at a place known as the House of Basketball. And this right here, this is the holy grail for all things FIBA, including FIBA 3x3. And today is your lucky day. You get to take a tour with me, check out some cool memorabilia, and learn some of the history of the game. But not only that, I'm hearing whispers that some FIBA staff want to challenge me to a game of 3x3. Y'all know they tripping about that. Meantime, let's get on with that tour. Let's check it out. What you want? What? All right, so I'm here inside FIBA headquarters with Luis Gonzalez, who heads the museum here. First of all, what an outstanding facility. I mean, this is breathtaking. How much does it cost to come take a visit here?
Completely free.
Free 99.
Yeah, free 99. Yeah, open to everybody. Not only for the basketball fans, but also for the other people that do want to learn about the basketball and also the FIBA tournament.
How many pieces does this museum have?
We have 40,000 pieces and 120 photos and almost 7,000 books.
I was hoping you can give me a more in-depth look at some of the displays. Do you mind?
Of course.
Let's do it. Thank you. 1920s?
Yeah.
They actually wore this? How could you move in this? Man, they painted these things on. And here's that ball. I was 1915. Wow. I think that thing is pretty heavy. You have to be in the weight room to shoot that thing. I actually used to hoop in shoes similar to this when I was in college. You ain't got to worry about nobody poking your eyes out with this. You got to worry about seeing the goal. We've come a long way. We've come a long way for sure.
I will show you also the area for the 3x3 that we have in the museum.
This is my favorite spot. I feel like when you open it up, it said, ah. Immediately, this sticks out to me.
Do you know this one?
Dushan Bullett's gold medal winning jersey from the World Championships 2016. I remember this one because, I'm from the States. They beat USA, a really good United States team, and Dushan hit the game winner. Unbelievable. And here's the jersey right here. Wow. We can all dream, can't we? This is the beginnings. This is going back to 2010, a piece of the court from the 2010 Youth Olympic Games in Singapore. This is the first steps of 3x3. All right, so I've reached the portion of the tour where these gloves are no longer necessary. They have only incubated my shooting hand, so it should be nice and warm. Did y'all hear that? That was the lunch bell. It's time for me to eat. Who wants to be my first victim?
Is that enough? You can play now?
That was a snack.
All right. Here's a look at the quarterfinal bracket with the top 8 seeds making it through. Now, I hope you're sitting comfortably because these quarterfinals had more drama than the second season of Mindhunter. Nervous yet? Well, the Swiss fans were when Team Lausanne stepped onto the Inleo court to face the #1 seed, Lehman, out of Serbia. You expected an Instagram game with big dunks and monster blocks, right? Well, Lausanne, they changed their game and became the best defensive team on the tour. Both Alexander Ratkov and former world #1 Stefan Stojacic were held scoreless in 10 minutes. It wasn't always pretty, but Lausanne were in the driver's seat. But just as the Swiss fans were starting to relax a little bit, Stefan Kojic turned the game upside down with an insane 4-point play in the last minute of the game. But Jerkovic said, "Don't worry, I got this." He lost his defender to tie the game at 10. Swiss Khalifa wanted all the smoke. He gave Lausanne a 1-point lead in traffic, followed up with a key defensive play, and made the crowd louder than an avalanche.
We feel great, but with this family, we cannot do less than this.
Oh, you thought that was it? That you'd have a minute to recover from that madness? Oh, we don't blame you if you felt that way with Shaq up 9-3 with 4 minutes to go. But Kareem Maddox planted the American flag in the paint like Neil Armstrong on the moon and delivered back-to-back-to-back buckets to tie the game at 10 apiece. Marius Užupis gave the Lithuanians the lead with just 1 minute to go, but on the last possession of the game, Maddox kicked it out to a wide-open Damon Huffman in the corner for another Tissot buzzer beater.
Anytime you can win on this stage, in this venue, it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience. So fortunately for me, I made that shot to win.
With Lehman out, Piran were the last remaining team in Lausanne to have won a Masters before. One of the only teams to have played in all 8 editions of the World Tour was up against Kareliof, a team that is making its 3x3 debut in 2019. And guess what? We had another close one. Piran was up 1 after 7 minutes of play, but the young Russians switched to 6th gear. Kirill Pisklov had a 2-pointer, a steal, key assist 3-piece. Then passed the torch to Andrei Kiselev, who kissed the lucky 2 off the glass with the foul. The Slovenians had a few chances to take the lead, but came short, and Pisklov punished them with a silky smooth shot from beyond the arc. We will have a first-time Masters winner this year in Lausanne. Spoiler alert, the last quarterfinal could win craziest game of the year. Not were up all game. And sorry for the cliche, but the bank is always open in Switzerland. Lucas Dussoulier gave the French a 4-point cushion. It looked like New York Harlem's Swiss adventures were finally gonna come to an end. Kadani Brutus brought the New Yorkers back in the game though from the logo. How do you recognize confidence? Disco Dama was 1 for 8 from beyond the arc. Dude hit the most contested shot in the history of basketball to send the game to overtime. It was bound to finish this way. In OT, Brutus hit the 2-piece Tissot buzzer beater to take the game.
Big time players make big time shots. Good shot, Brutus. You know, that's what he's here for. Knock down shots, we're gonna fight.
The Shootout Contest The moment we crowned the best sniper in the whole tournament. We hadn't seen much of Malo Valerian on day one as Hamburg went down in the qualifying draw, but the German sharpshooter sure made an impression in the home credit shootout contest. Valerian reached the money ball rack with a score of 11 for 15, still on pace to tie the all-time record. He bricked the first two, but splashed the last one to make a comfortable lead. In a battle of the lefties, Marius Ujupis of Shake Gubale was next, and he started heating up on the third rack. The Lithuanian star needed all three money balls to tie Valerian, and he gave him a little scare by splashing two of them, but he missed the second one. With a top score of 13, Malo Valerian and his impeccable mustache is your PIMSA Shootout Contest winner in Lausanne. The highlight machine, Team Lausanne, has been a force at the Lausanne Masters the last 2 years. But team captain Wester Molteni said you would rarely see him outside of Switzerland on the pro circuit. This had to change for King Weston family to reach their ultimate goals.
We all met at the end of the last season and we say, guys, what is your goal? So everybody say Olympics. So we say we need to find sponsor. We have to do it by ourselves because we cannot start and having somebody for marketing, somebody for organization. So mostly me and Gilles, we start looking for sponsor and we start working on the project, let's say. 3x3 at the moment have really a good potential for any company in the world. They just don't know yet the stuff. Also because we are not thinking just on ourselves. We are trying to promote the 3x3 in Switzerland, so it takes a lot of time. So we found an agreement with this watch company. They are actually luxury, but they are now more interested on the urban youngs. They fit well on us, and I love the way we are working together, and I hope this will continue.
You want to talk about player empowerment? These guys just aren't players. They're authentic entrepreneurs, handling an entire business on their own. Cut the middleman. Lausanne are talking directly to the fans in innovative projects like crowdfunding.
We decided to do the crowdfunding with a company which the name is I Believe in You. People believe in us and they wanted to help us. And then we had more than 300 people that was participating. The result was great. At the end, the last day, it was crazy. It was going up really fast.
Speaking of going up very fast, Lausanne created their own brand of 3x3. Forget about layups. This Swiss team has marketed itself as the most entertaining team on the tour.
This sport is something that works better if it's entertaining. Sometimes we say, guys, we need to do it like for the crowd, for the movement. It helps us also in finding sponsor. Almost in every tournament, we are in the top 5 at least 2-3 times. So this is something important for us.
With the top 2 seeds out, the window is wide open for the World Tour contenders. Princeton and New York Harlem are on the 2 sides of the bracket. It's USA against the rest of the world in the semifinals. The Swiss fans came to the final roaring louder than the Lion King. Hakuna Matata, fellas. What could go wrong? On day 1, Lausanne played 3x3 like Samba. In the semis, they showed up looking more vulnerable than young Simba. It took nearly 3 minutes for the Swiss to get on the board. Meanwhile, Damon Huffman was shooting the lights out, leading Princeton to a 7-0 lead. Princeton just could not miss. And when Huff started hitting from the outside, Robbie Hummel put the gas on and Wilsonized Wester Molteni's mohawk. Oh, so nice you gotta see it twice. Kareem Maddox went fancy off the behind the back pass and Hummel finished the job from across the pond. 3 weeks after Prague, Princeton make it to their 2nd consecutive final.
We knew they do some things very well. They're very athletic. I was trying not to get dunked on, so I did that, and we're happy with the win.
After scoring 4 Tissot buzzer beaters, 4 in 3 games, we sort of expected New York Harlem to bring more drama. And once again, they had a Diesel start. Speaking of Diesel, Marcel Esenwune started flexing on the rim, and then Disco Damo went fast and furious. Jones had a game-high 11 points and 8 total highlights in the game, more than the entire Russian team combined. Esenwune said, "Not today," and Disco Damo finished things off from the line with his signature one-handed free throw. No drama this time, and we're up to the first ever All-American final in World Tour history.
Last 3 teams, they were tough, man. So to get this win, easily, handily is fine, just like before the championship.
The Pimps a Dunk contest brought the Lausanne Masters to new heights. The favorite was, of course, Vadim Podopchenko, aka Miller, who became the dunk contest world champ 2 months ago in Amsterdam. But the Ukrainian power dunker also had to deal with the royal guard Joel Henry and the 5'9" Lithuanian Gediminas Zitlinskas. As a matter of fact, Miller was last after 1 attempt. Henry made a sick, ridiculous scorpion dunk, and Zitlinskas followed that up with a stunning elbow dunk climbing over Henry. The dunker from the UK looked like a glitch in 2K when he jumped over not 1, but 2 fans, and Miller stamped his ticket to the final by a hair. But in the final, Miller showed his experience, nailing some of his signature dunks, like his 360 between the legs off the bounce. Joel Henry, meanwhile, missed his 3 attempts on an insane 360 scoop. Henry couldn't recover from that, yet he still finished the contest with an exclamation mark. But it's Miller time yet again, who wins his 2nd title in Lausanne and takes home the $2,500 check. It's been nearly 3 years since Team Chicago won the America's Masters in Mexico City. But finally, the U.S. curse at the World Tour was coming to an end. New York Harlem or Princeton? Who would be the team to write 3x3 history? Damon Huffman picked things up where he left off. Meanwhile, New York Harlem had a plan to go to the body and attack the basket. The former Minnesota Timberwolf Robbie Hummel was in full moon mode as he nailed the 2-piece to give Princeton their biggest lead of the game. But he only managed to make Disco Damo more locked in. Dude scored a game-high 10 points in the final. New York Harlem were heating up, but Princeton had a chance to tie the game. You know who would have made a good MJ in Space Jam 2? Marcel Esenwune stretched his arm like the GOAT to swat Huffman. The Minister of Defense turned Minister of Offense. New York Harlem spent enough time on the court on day 1. Now they were looking for the knockout finish. Disco Damo drove to the rim and stopped on a dime for the $30,000 teardrop. New York Harlem finished the weekend strong with the 2 Tissot fastest games of the tournament, finally winning their first Masters, and the tournament top scorer Disco Damo winning a much-deserved MVP trophy.
At the beginning of the season, when they said who won't win the Masters, they didn't mention Harlem. We took that personal, and that's what we came to do. We gonna represent. Every time we step on this floor, they ain't mention us first, but they gonna mention us last.
This is the moment. Sit down, kick your feet up, let yourself go. It's time for the top 5 plays of the Lausanne Masters. Starting up at number 5, this dude is from another planet. The speedy Gilles Martin serves up the dish, and Swiss Khalifa, he got the munchies. Watch him devour it. At number 4, they call Marcel Esenwune the bouncer, and Ilya Karpenkov from Kareliov, he ain't on the list. You wanted proof that the new generations care about the environment? Watch Nathan Jerkovic pick up the trash around the rim.
You knew he was gonna do it! He took off like it was time for holiday!
At number 2, Wester Montany is so photogenic that the World Cup MVP Robbie Hummel, decided to put him on a poster. And to finish things up, we go to one of the most insane finishes in World Tour history. Not just one, but two Tissot buzzer beaters in the same game, courtesy of Disco Damo and Kadani Brutus.
And Brutus is gonna do it! I'm at a loss for words. What do you say? Another Tissot buzzer beater?
Ain't no rest for the wicked. Just 3 days after Lausanne, the 7th Masters of the season takes place in Debrecen, Hungary for the 4th year in a row. 9 of the top 11 teams in the world are expected on the NEO court in front of the iconic Great Reformed Church. Remember, you can relive it with the hashtag 3x3WT on FIBA 3x3 social media channels on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.